So it's November of 2023, and these are the top 10 fragrances according to Macy's.com. So I went on Macy's, clicked beauty, clicked cologne, and then changed the search parameters so it shows me the best sellers. I'm going to be putting these 10 fragrances in my personal order. I'm excited to share this list with you, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's video and I tell you about these top 10 best-selling fragrances according to Macy's.com as of November 2023, and I actually put them in my own order, I'll give you the justification and the rationale for each one as to why I put them in the number 9 spot or number 3 or number 1 or whatever. But before I begin the video, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So, the first fragrance is by Valentino, and this one is Born in Roma Intense, I think. So it's the one in the purple bottle. There's so many flankers. I actually put this at the bottom of the list because this fragrance, for me personally, it's kind of reductive. So it reminds me a little bit of Emporio Armani Stronger With You. I know some of the other variations like Yellow Dream and whatever, some of them have reminded me of Invictus Aqua by Paco Rabanne. So a lot of these have been quite lackluster. They haven't been as interesting as I wanted them to be, but it does have a more of a modern, youthful, gentlemanly appeal to it, and I do like the direction that they're going with some of the more recent iterations on the market. But with this one personally, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little bit redundant, and there are other fragrances on the market that in my opinion are better, but this one is actually quite solid. Then we have 1 Million. You know, it's interesting because they are also promoting a lot of gift sets on Macy's website, and I see 1 Million a lot. And there have been so many flankers released throughout the years, like 1 Million Royal and 1 Million Privé, which is now discontinued. That was like one of my favorites, and there's an intense version and whatever. But I do really enjoy 1 Million. The only qualm with this one is because of that sweet cinnamony rose bubblegum vibe that it gives across. Some people say it's juvenile, but I actually do like the aesthetic merit that it possesses, and I find it to be one of the more artistic fragrances on the market. Here we have Versace Aeros. Now, I do find that the Parfum version is the best one, and I'm looking over my shoulder here because I have all three. Here's the Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Toilette is really nice. Tonka bean, vanilla, mint. You know all about Versace Aeros. If you want the one with the best performance, I would say go with the Parfum version, but I did find that this one was kind of plain and boring when it came out. It was just kind of this overdose of vanilla and Tonka bean, and that seems to be the direction that a lot of men's fragrances nowadays are heading in. Only recently have we seen them go in kind of like a dark, spicy, ambery direction, you know, kind of like a Azzaro, Wanted by Night, and you know, those types of fragrances. We also have Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. The one that you're going to see on the website under bestseller, surprisingly, is not the Eau de Parfum, but the Eau de Toilette. I would say go with the Eau de Parfum. Of course, I own both of them. I've done reviews on both of them. The Eau de Parfum is going to give you more of a modern vibe to it, even though the Eau de Toilette still smells quite modern despite the fact that it was released in the mid-90s. This one is also going to give you slightly better performance, especially considering the fact that the Eau de Toilette has been reformulated. We also have the brand new fragrance by Yves Saint Laurent. This one is called Myself. Myself is really nice, bright, vibrant, citrusy, effervescent, professional, office setting type of a fragrance. Huge compliment getter. You are going to get that lavender, clary sage thing happening in here. So it does give off a contemporary modern vibe. But I'm going to be honest with you, I actually prefer Y, and this is the Eau de Parfum Intense, right? These flankers are getting out of hand. This one, the apple, the lavender, the vanilla, it also has those aromatic tendencies as well. It's warmer, it's richer, and it's actually much better for this time of the year. So we're talking November, right? So if you're looking for something with a little more sustenance, a little more endurance and longevity, this one is the top pick. And then, of course, this is like the #1 bestseller on their website, and you can check for yourself, of course, Dior Sauvage. So I think, according to their website, the #1 bestseller is the Eau de Parfum version, not the Parfum, not the Elixir. You are going to see the Elixir in there, though. And I'm just kind of displaying my Eau de Toilette bottle just for the sake of including one and not 4 of them, right? But my recommendation would be get the eau de parfum or the parfum. Those are warmer, they're richer, they still have the brightness of the eau de toilette, but they don't have that screechy metallic thing that a lot of people complain about. And I personally love Sauvage Elixir. I love it. I think it's fantastic. You know, one of the best flankers of any fragrance, in my opinion. I like the name, I like the presentation, I like how the label is kind of concaved. The only thing is that it is a bit mature leaning. It's quite spicy, it's mature leaning. So my recommendation would be just try it for yourself, see if it caters to your personal taste. The safest blind buys are the eau de parfum and the parfum. The eau de toilette, however, is going to be the one that's going to get you the most compliments, I think, depending on your personality, how you pull it off, how you're dressed, your demeanor, all that stuff. Here are the top 3. This one is forever going to be a classic, Bleu de Chanel. So you're going to see a variety of different flankers for Bleu de Chanel. You're going to see the parfum version, you're going to see the eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, so on and so forth. You can't go wrong with any of them. I think the parfum version is going to give you really good performance. The eau de toilette gives you that effervescence. You have the incense, you have the grapefruit, amazing professional fragrance. The only drawback, same thing I could say about this one and Versace Aeros and Dior Sauvage, is that a lot of people wear them. They're bestsellers for a reason, and that's because they have kind of entered the mass consciousness and people know what they smell like and people can immediately pinpoint them in a crowd. So just keep that in mind. Same thing can be said about the next one, which is why I was so inclined to put it in the number 1 spot, but I didn't. I put it in the number 2 spot, despite the fact that I really love it. Creed Aventus. Creed Aventus is also going to be among the bestsellers on the Macy's website currently. Creed Aventus, incredibly expensive now. It didn't used to be that expensive 10 years ago when I bought it, or 11, 12 years ago, whatever. But Creed Aventus, pineapple, apple, birch tar, blackcurrant, it's citrusy, it's a little smoky, it has this overdose of vanilla in the dry down, huge compliment factor. And I do think it deserves to be at the very top of a lot of people's lists. Of course, nowadays people are seeking clones and alternatives versus the OG. But the fragrance that I put in the number 1 spot, and I said, you know, this is a bestseller according to Macy's, it's in their top 10, but I think it should be in the top 3, and in my list, it's the number 1 spot. I love this stuff. I've been wearing it. It's great for this time of the year. Doesn't have the compliment factor of like a Bleu de Chanel or a Dior Sauvage or a Myself, but it's an amazing fragrance. And I think as far as the creativity, the note breakdown, the mint, the lavender, the honey, the tobacco, this is arguably the best release of this year, and I think it warrants being in that top 10 list. This one is Le Male Elixir by Jean Paul Gaultier, a composition by Kenton Biche. Of course, the original Le Male is made by Francis Kirkjohn. That was also a mid-90s release, just like the original Acqua di Gio. But there's just something about Le Male Elixir. It is a fantastic fragrance. The tobacco, it's not that powdery. You have the honey, it's sweet, it's ambery. The vanilla is very gentle and genial. You have the lavender, it possesses the perfect amount of an aromatic vibe. It has just enough of a connection to the original Le Male, but it does things differently. It caters to the ethos of the modern man living in 2023. I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and I should also mention that I purchased every single fragrance on this list with my own money. I spend a lot of money at Macy's on a monthly basis, perhaps a bi-weekly basis, but that's besides the point. Guys, how would you rank these fragrances? What do you think is the best-selling fragrance according to your personal taste, right? We know that if you go on Macy's website, you're going to see Sauvage, number 1, right? But for me personally, I think this deserves to be number 1. And I think depending on what side of the bed I get up off of, Creed Aventus deserves to be number 1. But anyway, I'm always curious to hear your list. Drop your comments down below. If you want to see me do more of these videos, but with different retailers, it could be Nordstrom, it could be Neiman Marcus, it could be Bergdorf Goodman, it could be whatever, let me know. Put your recommendations down below. If you took anything of value from today's episode, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.